Hey, Christian from 74 Weld. This is our latest build out of the shop. This is my 2025 4th gen TACOMA, and we're gonna do a little walk around through it, just talk about what went in the build, and yeah, we'll start from the front, go to the back. Starting out front, we've got a C4 bumper. This is their Overland series, and they've got some different options on this one. I went with the full plate. You can get a hybrid, tube outers, whatever, different bull bars. This has the low bar. And as you can see, it's already spec'd out, ready to take some BA design lights. And we've got a 30-inch S8 in the bumper, and then a pair of SAE Squadrons with some amber rock guards for the fog pocket. That's just using BA Design's off-the-shelf harness that just plugs right into the OEM system. Yeah, you'll see down here, I've got a worn winch with no rope in it. That's because I bolted it on because it looks cool, and I have not spun the rope into it. I'm hoping Chad will do that for me if I postpone it long enough, but if not, at some point I will do it and get some, factor 55 fair leads and stuff, but that is at a later date. Moving on to the side and basically underneath. So underneath the truck, obviously we got a set of 74 Weld portals, and that's where I'm getting all the lift on this truck from. So it's the 3.88-inch lift and a 22% gear reduction. And those integrate with the factory ABS, so you're not losing any functionality of these brand new trucks. So you're just adding the benefits of our portals: ground clearance, gear reduction, and maintaining on-road manners, and obviously getting a lot better off-road. And then the shocks you'll see, I've got a set of 3.0s from Fox, and so that's on all four corners. I'm actually not getting much lift out of those just because we try to not push the factory suspension out of geometry too much. So I'm getting about an inch just to level out the truck, and these are actually a Fox package that we're working on internally to offer to our customers that are basically tuned for our application, big tires, and basically we softened up the valving from what comes from Fox. And so keep an eye out. These are going to be basically, they're in the testing phase now, and we're hoping to roll these out soon for the Toyota platforms. The wheels and tire package on this, let's start with the tires. These are a 37-1250, and that's the RT Trails from Toyo. Big thing on this whole build, you'll see trying to add a bunch of benefits from the aftermarket parts, but not get a bunch of drawbacks. So we didn't go with a mud terrain. We think for a lot of people, an RT is a super good option. It's, tougher sidewall, but still fairly quiet on the road, and you get a bunch of performance. But so really good for daily, really good for off-road. And then for the wheels, you may notice that this is our collaboration with Method, but they look a little different on this build. This is the Method 207, and the predecessor of this wheel was the 107, which came in this cool gray color. And just basically want to do a little homage to that. So we matched that color. And so basically, because these wheels were developed for the Dakar Rally, and they overalled the first year with Nasser when they were debuted in 2022. And they've got a bunch of wins in BA and stuff since then. But basically, I leaned into that heritage, and I basically infilled the machined logos out and give them kind of that look like the Sparco wheels or other rally wheels you'll see. So, 74 Weld, got our color on there, but yeah, just some fun details that add to some of the wheels that we run in a lot of our builds. Yeah, while we're making it down the side, point out these Fender Flares. These are basically a TRD Pro style Fender Flare. These are from Rough Country, American made. They're $350 for the set. I spent $350 just for the front because I'm obviously not running the rear. So if anybody wants some rear fenders, I've got them. And then back on the lighting package really quick. These are a set of Squadron Pros, which are a really good option. And this is a vehicle specific kit from BA Designs. So just bolts into factory bolts and then send it. And then all the lighting package. And then later the accessories that I will add are all powered by SPOD. And that's another vehicle specific kit from BA Designs. And basically mounts in the engine compartment, replaces a panel in the interior, and you got 8 auxiliary switches with 30 amps each. Yeah, moving on to the back. This is obviously the most striking part of the build. First off, we have the full bed replacement, tray, flatbed, whatever you want to call it, depending on what part of the world you're from. This is sure. This is a Ute tray now, but flatbed, easy, because I'm American. This is from. This tray is from Summit Expedition Trucks out of Canada, and this is their option. I spec'd it with the bed sides. You can get it with canopies or whatever. I have basically a headache rack, so I can run a tent. I like the open bed so that I can carry pelicans, or my friends here can throw random trash they found on the street in the back of it, which...
Or like bales of hay.
Yeah. Or...
Like a farm truck.
Yeah. Or I can get hay bales in here because I'm a working man.
You got soft hands.
Yeah. Up top, I'm running the RTT Pro from GFC. So this is their rooftop tent option. Basically, it's the top half of their campers. Basically, you close it up. It's only 6 inches tall, so it doesn't disrupt the wind too much on the truck. So trying to keep it, like I said,
It's pretty aerodynamic.
Going through the build, it's fairly aerodynamic and doesn't disrupt the drivability and annoyance of having some giant Lance sliding camper or something. Rear suspension, obviously we got a repeat of the front. We got the Fox 3.0s, portals, and then just to make up for some of the added weight on the back of the truck, we threw in some iBox springs. Still the factory height, it's just stiffer spring.
So this isn't a leaf spring truck, this is a 5-link truck?
Yeah, so on the new Toyota platforms, they're basically all 5-link. Some people would say 4-link. That's not correct. But yeah, no more leaf springs. So coil spring in the rear, set of portals, you're done. So for the interior of the truck, basically I have 2 modifications. The SPOD I talked about earlier here, and then a set of PRP seat covers. I would say definitely the biggest drawback on the new Tacoma, you've got a bunch of new technology, which is super rad. The trucks ride great, but the interior is absolute garbage. And I would say seat covers are an absolute necessity. I have already poured yerba mate all over that passenger seat and gotten a Reese's chocolate stain on this seat. So covering all that up with a super nice set of PRP seat covers. And basically if they offer it for your platform, it's fully customizable. So they have them for the 4th gen Tacoma. So I spec'd it out basically with some suede and some leather detailing. And then it was super awesome. They have an option to add logos if you want. So we just put our 74 Weld logo in the back of each seat. And so, yeah, PRP seat covers on all the seats, front and back. Back on the SPOD, just because we're over here, I'm running it to run all the accessories on this truck right now. As you can see, I just have the light set up. But, you know, we'll add onboard air and power for the fridge, some auxiliary lighting, some rear-facing lighting, just all of our accessories through the SPOD. You wire it all to the brain in the engine bay, and you're one and done. All I had to run in here was basically an Ethernet cable into the firewall, came with instructions. Do that. I installed this in an hour. I had it wired in probably another hour after that. So 30 amps per circuit, 120 continuous, and no second guessing on auxiliary switches that come in your truck on like which one's 15, which one's 25, which one's 30. You know right out of the gate that it's going to run it. You have dimmable functions, programmable switches. So it's just, even if you have auxiliary switches, highly recommend running an SPOD just because of the like opening up the functionality of all the accessories you're trying to run for it. And it's a solid state run thing. So, I mean, I have a light bar on this. It could be running 8 amps. I could take this off and switch it to something that needs 20. I don't have to do anything else than plug it in. The SPOD knows what to do. So that's super rad. And then you'll notice a bunch of dirt from camping on the way up here. Basically, the overall goal on this build, just like all the products we make, was to add a bunch of functionality with minimal drawbacks. So it's kind of looks like a pretty crazy build, but everything you see here is a plug and play option. From the portal, suspension, bumper, the tray, these are all products that were made for the Tacoma that just bolted right up. I didn't have to do a bunch of fabrication and stuff. I just threw this on and it's ready to do whatever. Obviously we're gonna do a bunch of camping out of this year. You'll see us later this year. We're gonna run the Rubicon on it when we actually, you know, get some sliders and stuff. Don't want to total the truck. But yeah, basically built it as like a go anywhere, do anything rig. And
so you are going to be running the Rubicon?
Yeah. So I don't have a bunch of wheeling experience, but lucky enough we're planning a trip with a bunch of Toyota dudes that do have a bunch of wheeling experience. We're going to run the Rubicon. It'll be my first time and kind of show the capabilities that are opened up with a set of portals on these trucks, even for, hopefully I can make it through it on someone who doesn't have a bunch of experience. So that'd be cool. You can follow that up later this year. For more on this build, you can check it out on Instagram. You can check my personal Instagram. That's Christian Bolster. You're going to see it mostly there, but don't feel like you need to follow. You're not going to like my other content. And yeah, so any questions on the build, anything, you know, portal related, Tacoma related, we've got 10,000 miles on this build so far. We've got a bunch of mileage in other Toyotas. Ask the questions in the comments and you're good to go.